Everybody loves Visual Studio Code, right? Well, today we're going to look at an extension called the Web Template Studio that was created by Microsoft. Now, it's actually been out for a while, but I just found out about it reading an article that introduced version 2. So what we're going to do is have some fun today. I'm going to install this extension for the very first time, and I'm going to go through it with you and give you my impressions on it. And we'll do it right after this. All right, let's get started with this tutorial. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Dan Vega. I run my personal website, which is danvega.dev. I like to help people learn how to code through a series of articles, tutorials, videos, courses, and even at a boot camp where I am a curriculum developer. So if you'd like to learn more about me, head over to danvega.dev. So today we're talking about Web Template Studio. As I mentioned, this is an extension for Visual Studio Code that's been out for a while, but I saw this particular article and this is kind of what got me hip to the extension. So they are announcing version 2.0 of the Web Template Studio, and apparently they've overhauled it, really updated it, added a bunch of features to it. And so I'll leave this article in the description below. So if you want to go ahead and read through this. Other than that, like I said, we're just going to hop over to Visual Studio Code. I'm going to install the extension for the very first time and just go through it and try to learn it. Now, I did read through this article, so I do have a little bit of an idea of what they're trying to do, which is that first sentence there, just kind of quickly bootstrap a web application. So it's a way to kind of generate a web app in all types of different frameworks. So let's head over to Visual Studio Code. Okay, so here we are in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to go over to my extensions and I'm going to search for Web Template and it should come up. There we go, Web Template Studio. So again, here's a little bit more of a description if you want to go through. The important thing to note, it looks here, I always look at like instructions because sometimes I install extensions and then I have no idea how to get to them. So instructions to use: to create a new project, to deploy a generated project. I don't think we're going to need to deploy today. So to create a new project, open VS Code, press Control-Shift-P, Shift-Command-P in Mac, which I am on. And it basically, okay, so that opens the extension launcher, and then we're going to type in Web Template Studio, launch, and press Enter. So just remember here on Mac, we're going to do Shift-Command-P, Web Template Studio launch. So let's go ahead and install. So we're in the world of not having to relaunch Visual Studio Code after a extension installation. So that's always awesome. So we should be able to just install this and start working. So this extension is enabled globally. That's good. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to hit Shift-Command-P and type Web Template Studio. So there's that deploy and then there's that launch. So this is going to help us bootstrap a new web application. So let's see what happens when we get here. So Web Template Studio, I'm looking up top here. I see a bunch of steps. So it looks like we have a wizard type form. So we have new project, add frameworks, add pages, optional cloud services, which I'm guessing is why Microsoft produces, and summary. So first off, my impressions are I really like the interface to this extension. I know a lot of different vendors have created extensions that kind of bootstrap applications. I'm thinking of, so I use Spring a lot in the Java world, and there is an extension in Visual Studio Code, and you kind of launch it the same way from the like the services bar there, but it just kind of drops down menu after menu out of that bar. I wish more would use this type of interface. I really think this is really nice. So I'm guessing this is open source somewhere. So hey, if you're producing these types of extensions, this is something that you could probably look at. And if I ever get around to creating something like this, I think I would use something like some similar interface to this. So let's do this. Let's create a web app in seconds. So give your full stack project a name, choose where to create it, and click next to get started. So I'm going to do the typical hello web template studio. And where do I want to save it? So I do have a dev folder. So I have a dev folder, and let's create a new one in here called web template studio. So I think now I'm just going off of what I know to be the case with any type of CLI program. Usually it asks you for a location of where you want to save those projects. So I'm going to guess this is the project location, and then it's going to create a folder called Hello Web Template Studio for us. So optionally, get started quickly with any framework. So you can just quick start if you wanted to. I want to actually go through this. So I'm going to click next. Okay, so here's where we select our frameworks. So it's not just framework. So we're going to select a front end application. So I'm going to use Vue. And then we're going to select a back end framework. So right now our only options are Node and Express or Flask and Python. So this is pretty cool. I don't know if this is extensible. This may be something I want to look into. If you could add frameworks to this, that would be really cool. I've been playing around with Nest.js, which is it's Express, but it's a layer on top of Express to give you a little bit just easier up and running type stuff. So that'd be cool if I could kind of plug that in. So here's Vue. I'm going to do Vue and Node, and we're going to select next. So now it says select pages for your application. You can select up to 20 pages. So what is this? Add pages, select pages. I'm guessing these are just like templates then. So a blank page for you to build your web application from scratch. A grid, simple image and text components, which are organized into a grid. That's pretty cool. List, add, remove text from adaptive list, and master detail. Okay, so there's these previews. Let me try this. So preview a blank one. Okay, so this is just kind of a template. That's a blank template. Let's see what the grid looks like. Okay. So I've been around the web long enough. This looks very bootstrap. Yep, bootstrap. So that's what's going on there. They're basically using bootstrap to create some templates. Let's see what a list looks like. That's pretty cool. Master detail. That's pretty cool as well. Let's just start with blank. We're just going to go blank pages. Oh, wait. So is that 2 then? 1, 0, 0. Okay, yeah. So this is already what's happening. So if we wanted to, we could create a bunch of these pages, but I'm just going to start with blank because I want to see what it happens. So next, add optional cloud services. So add Azure cloud services to your project. Yeah, so this is kind of Microsoft trying to get you into their cloud offering, which is not a bad thing. I mean, Microsoft Azure is definitely a great service to check out. So you'd have to sign in here, and then you can publish right to the web. Oh, you can connect to a Cosmos DB. That's pretty cool. So we're not going to add any for this project, but it is a nice option. Again, I wish that was kind of extensible, kind of add some different cloud providers in there. That'd be pretty cool. And so this is a summary. So your project details. So the name is that. And as I don't know. We don't know if it's going to create a new folder. I would think so, but we'll see. Front-end framework, if we wanted to quickly change that, I think we could. We have a back-end framework. We have one blank page with no services. You can actually view your license here. Again, I like this UI. This is really slick. I know this probably has nothing. This is a wizard, I guess. This really has nothing to do with a web template, but I like it. It's clean, it's nice, and it's not just some simple text drop down asking me for different choices. So let's go ahead and create our project. That was pretty quick. Creating your project. So open project. I like that I can do that. So I can open my project. It actually just opened a new window, but that's okay. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So I like to look at the package.json first, and okay, there's a little bit going on. So name, version private. So we have some dependencies on Express, some bootstrap view for kind of the templating stuff, core view router. So we have our ESLint configuration in here. Everything's kind of in package.json. We have some dev dependencies, nodemon for running our backend Express application, view CLI, view template, some scripts. Okay, pretty standard application going on. We have a view config. So this is setting up our dev server on a proxy. So that's good. And we have some build scripts. Okay, so I'm guessing our source is, yep, our view application. So this is our view application in here. We have an app.view. Looks like it has the nav bar. Here's our view router, router view, and a footer. So that's cool. Created two components for us, the footer and the nav bar. If you're getting a new view, that's good naming convention instead of naming it just like the footer or nav bar. So I like that, using some conventions there. Nothing much else going on here. In views, we do have a blank page because that's what we selected. I suspect if we did like a list or a master detail, those would show up as views. Which means we are using router. So there's a router configuration here. Got it. So home redirects to the blank component and the blank component shows up. So that's our source. And then we have a server. So I'm guessing this is the Express app. Yep. So I'm not a huge Express person. Not that I don't like it or anything. I just have never used it on a lot of projects. Most of my backend APIs are written in something like Java and Spring. But with that said, I like the idea of Express. And like I said, I've been using Nest.js lately, just kind of, which sits on top of Express, which again, just takes a little bit of the configuration out of it, which I like. I don't like configuring stuff. So there's that. And then there's a public folder. So let's go. Okay, there is a README. Cool. So in the root directory of the project, you're going to have to install node modules. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and open up a terminal here, and we're going to go ahead and npm install. And then we can start a development server. What does that do? Is that development server? Is that going to start both for us? Let's go back here. Okay, so it's using concurrently. So that is a package to basically run these in parallel. If you were just on Mac, you wouldn't actually need this because you can run these in parallel. Not Mac, Linux. But if you're on Windows, you can actually run two of these in parallel. So that's probably why they're using this. So it's going to yarn start front end, yarn start front end, start back end. Okay, so it's starting the front end and the back end. So that's nice. We get one script to rule them all, if you will. So let's go ahead and npm start. So a bunch of stuff going on here. And there is our blank application. So when we go to the root, it just forwards over to that blank. Nothing really exciting going on, but this is a nice scaffolded out application that gave us both the back end and the front end. So that's pretty cool. And I like that it sets up a lot of the infrastructure for you there. Like I said, you know, being able to run the back end and the front end at once, you know, these are things, whether you're getting started or a pro, that are just not fun to do. So I do like that fact. I don't know what version 1.0 looked like, so I can't really say, but I can say from an interface standpoint, I really do like the project wizard, like setting up a new project. I'll have to look at and see if this is open source. If this is open source, I think this is a good template to kind of build future extensions in. I do hope it's somewhat extensible, being able to maybe add, whether it's through a pull request or something, but I would like to see another backend framework or even more than that on there. So that's just kind of one suggestion that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. And then I think from a UI standpoint, I don't really use Bootstrap anymore. I use Bulma or Tailwind CSS. It'd be nice if you can like plug in what CSS utility you're using or what CSS framework you're using to create those templates in. And then obviously some more templates would be pretty cool. I see this having a lot of potential. I don't know where it's going to go, so we'll have to see if they address some of those things. But overall, awesome extension. So if you get a chance, go ahead and check it out. And as always, if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell notification so you are always notified when I upload a new video. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Comment below, let me know what you think of this extension, and let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see from me in the future. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and close this tutorial out, and I hope you have a good day. And as always, happy coding, friends.